That should be it. Let me just make sure we're running correctly this time around. That should be it. All right, cool. There we go, guys. All right, so we're back again. Sorry about that. We had a little bit of a technical difficulty. We are here with Victor at mpowers__. Mpowers, glad to have you on here. It's always good to have a young guy like yourself. I know you are 15 years old, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, 15.
Awesome. God, I didn't know that you were that young. That young. I mean, I started when I was 15, so that's pretty cool to have someone like you on here on the show. Now, introduce yourself, Victor. Tell a little bit about yourself, how you got into Gears of War, and why you like Gears of War. I know it's a lot, but just throw it out there. Speak your mind.
My name's Victor. Known as Empowers, and who brought me into Gears was a little group I had. Name was Savage, Seven, and Carl. Then I started playing with Fire Knights of Xyz, and I have a little group, with Tidy, Holy in them. That's really about it. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Now, Gears of War. Out of all the games, Call of Duty, Halo, PC games, what drew you to Gears of War?
I don't know, man. I just love this game. I like to grind it out, I didn't really play Call of Duty like that at all.
Okay.
I actually started playing this game this is my first game, and I was a little young. I played Gears 2, just chainsawing kids and stuff like that.
Yeah, of course. I know Gears of War is more of a entertaining game when it comes to getting a kill. It's more satisfying, what I mean? When you get a headshot, you hear that noise. When you get a chainsaw, you're pretty much cutting the person in half, you know what I mean? So it's a little intense, but it is more entertaining than most games, so I completely understand that side of it. Now, so far, since I know you're only 15 years old, which is great, you're starting young, how many LAN/tournaments, locals, major events have you been to personally?
Personally, I never went to any major event. When I'm 16, I must try to go to major events, but I usually just go to locals, the NY local.
Okay.
Yeah, those are the stuff I attend.
Yeah, I know you went to the New York City locals. Now, if I'm not mistaken, have you won one? I don't remember if you did, but I'm pretty sure you did really well at them. Could you justify that for me?
I won 3 of them.
Wow.
And I think I came second about twice.
Very nice. Now, placing first at those events, because obviously you've been to 4 of them at this point. It's basically like a mini MLG because you have so many players that come from the East Coast, New York City, and New Jersey that go to that event. What was your experience playing at the Fifth Avenue Microsoft store?
Well, when I first hit that LAN, it felt very different actually. Felt a little bit faster. Yeah, I felt a little faster, no lag, It felt good, to be honest, when I played.
Well, yeah, I'm sure. I know it's a different experience altogether. A lot of people, when they don't play on LAN and then they get to LAN, they're like, wow, this game is completely different. My shots are hitting, my movement is amazing. Did you feel that way? Was that something that you saw immediately when you started playing?
Yeah, as soon as I started playing, as soon as I wall bounced at least once, I already could tell everything was different. The shots were different, movement,
Yeah, no, of course. I mean, that's something, like we said, that's something that you notice right away, which is always a good thing. You know what I mean? It's very good feeling to know that your shots are actually hitting on LAN and you don't have to worry about all that nonsense that happens online. Now, going into Season 2, obviously you already know, everybody in here knows that the first event is going to be in Mexico City. Now, do you have to be 16 or older to attend, or can you go with a parental consent form?
I think you have to be 16, and when you're 16, you have to have a parent consent.
Ah, okay.
16 and up.
Gotcha. Okay. Wow. Things have changed. Yeah, my first major event was when I was 15 years old, and I just need a parent consent form. But hey, you know what? It is what it is. You have one more year to wait, unless when's your birthday?
Yeah, May, so next year.
Ah, okay. All right. Well, maybe you miss 2, 3 events. Obviously, I hope you can attend at least some this year. That would be pretty cool, to turn 16 and to be able to go to a major. Now, if you had a choice, where would you want to see a major event?
Actually, a major event, obviously New York. Where I be, where I live. That'd be actually cool. One in New
Yeah.
York City would be nice.
I mean, I figured you were going to say that, so it was kind of a trick question, but I knew you were going to say New York. I mean, why not say New York? You know what I mean? It's an awesome, awesome place to play in, to be at. Jacob Javits Center, when I was playing in Gears of War 2, that was years ago. I played WCG Nationals at Jacob Javits Center, which was awesome. That hasn't happened in a while, unfortunately. I hope to see it back. MSG's been having, a bunch of PC events, and maybe Jacob Javits Center will do a huge gaming event. I know they actually have New York Comic Con that's coming up next month. But hey, hopefully we'll be able to bring in a Gears of War event there soon enough. I think that'd be pretty cool, just because we have so many guys from New York. And if I'm not mistaken, I already had said you're from New York yourself, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And where are you based out of, borough-wise?
Bronx, New York.
Of course, all the good players are from the Bronx, New York. I actually used to work in the Bronx, play with so many people from the Bronx. God Plays was on my team. Domes was on my team. Soto, I've known Soto for years. Praise for years. All those guys are from the Bronx. I feel like you guys are like recruiting, or you guys are just brought up to play Gears of War, which is hysterical.
Yeah.
Now, if you get to play this season, obviously next year because your birthday's in May, who would you think of playing with, or who would you want to go into an event with? It could be anybody, somebody that's already on a team, somebody that you like personally as a friend. What would you be your dream lineup?
To go to a major event, I'd probably go with the little crew I always be chilling with, Proceed, Envies, them. Domes is one too. Yeah. So like this little crew, I actually want to go with like the team I went to the NY local with.
Okay.
Me, Envies, and Force, and them.
Yeah, no, that's a good squad, and you guys, like you said, you guys won 3 of them already. I know maybe you switch people around or not, but yeah, no, I know you've won locals already in New York at the Fifth Avenue store, which is huge. So I could see that sounds about right in regards to a team you'd be playing with. Now, as you wait, what are you going to do in the meantime? Are you been playing game battles? Have you been playing anything in regards to just keeping fresh with your skills and so forth?
Yeah. I usually, to be honest, I get on the game like all the time. Like, I play GBs, singles, wagers, pickups, all that stuff.
Yeah, of course. I mean, you got to keep the talent going. Practice makes perfect. I know I'm going to have here on the show soon enough. It's Gears Aggression Amateur Show or something like that. Are you going to be participating in that? I know they're going to try to, do a little bit more for the amateur community, just because everyone is put into that amateur pool until you place pro or semi-pro, if that's even a thing. So are you going to be competing in that?
Yeah, I think I am. I think did they tweet it out? Is it next Saturday?
I think so. Yes, I'm going to have them
Yeah,
on here to kind of speak about it.
I would be attending that.
Awesome. Yeah. I look forward to seeing you on there. I hope you do great things. Like I said, you have a little bit of time to wait, but I'm sure, Victor, once you get to be able to actually attend an event, I'm sure you'll do well. And the minute you play at your first event and you do really well, trust me, everybody will notice it. But Victor, I want to thank you for coming on. You're a great guy. You're a young kid. Obviously, stick with it. I'm sure you'll be there soon enough. Before I let you go, is there anything else that you wanted to say? Any shout outs for anybody watching this?
Yeah, shout out to the little crew I got, Avexies, N4s, Exovios exist, all them tidy, and the people that brought me into the game, Carl Plays and Savage 7. That's it.
Awesome. Of course. And I'm sure they appreciate that. Obviously, you're a great friend, always, looking out for you guys while you're here on the show. But again, Victor, thank you for coming. I'm going to let you go. Good luck. If you ever need anything, you know to contact me, my friend.
All
right, buddy. Take care. Have a good night. All right, guys. Well, that was the first guest of the night at @mpowers__. His name is Victor. He's 15 years old. He's going to be coming for that top spot. Obviously, he has to wait till he's 16 years old. I'm hoping to see him at an event by next year. He's going to be turning 16 in May of 2018. I want to thank him for coming on the show. Like I said, I try to spread it out a little bit, show some love to everybody in the community. Eventually, I'll start picking different people from different games or whatever it is. Any ideas that come up, I'll do it. I'll think about it. I'll make it work. But yeah, glad he came on. It was awesome that he was 15 years old. I was like, hello? What? But yeah, let me work on getting the next groups of guys in here. The next group we're going to be bringing to you is Able Uprising. Auto mod held this message aloud. What's up, Lexus TV? What's poppin', brother? Sorry guys, I got into a little bit of the show. I want to thank everybody for in the chat. Dinosaur Proceed, Mishi's here, Avexi's, what up? Savage. So guys, I'm going to be bringing to you Able Uprising. They are one of the newer organizations that have jumped into the Gears of War world, or esports Gears world. They're going to be coming on here to speak about their team, how they got into the game, their pros and cons of the game right now. Maybe we'll ask them a little bit about the new settings that are going on, and also their expectations for Mexico City that is coming up next month, middle of October actually, which is about a little bit more than a month away. So you guys better be getting ready and practicing like crazy, because I want to see some skill out there. I want to see some entertainment. I'm sick and tired of seeing these top pro teams. I think we need a little bit of new faces out there. So let me stop talking. Let me get the guys in here. I'm going to be calling Escamani first, and then I'll have him bring in his good friend as well. And then after that, guys, we're going to go to the Gears AA show crew. What's up, buddy?
I think we got this. Hey,
I got you. Hey, there he is. Alrighty. What's up, buddy?
X is probably slacking. He takes forever to do things.
All right, let's go ahead and add him in here.
Yeah, we actually just got done screaming, so that's why we actually just finished like 5 minutes ago.
Oh, wow. What is his Skype, if you don't mind?
Let me check.
Just so I can call him in here, but you got in pretty quick, which is good.
I'm a little prepared, so.
For sure, yeah, no, I always appreciate that.
Let me see if I can add him. Maybe I can add him in here.
Yeah, you probably be able to add him. That'll be clutch. And then we'll get right into it. There you go. Cool. I'm calling him.
Come on, Hex. Hey, buddy.
Come on, little guy. There he is. Yo, what's up?
What's up, yo?
What's up, brother? How's it going?
Doing good.
Good to have you guys on here. Guys, like I said in the stream, this is Able Uprising. We have the coach/manager, Escamani's in here, and we also have Hexi's, one of the players, obviously, of the 5 guys on the team. Thank you guys for coming out. I appreciate it. Obviously, like every host does, every guest does on this show, introduce you guys first. You can say whatever you want. Try to keep it a little short, just so we can get into the questions and the more interesting stuff. So, Escamani, if you want to start it off, or if I'm saying your name wrong, obviously let me know.
That's right. Yeah, I'm Es. I'm the coach and I guess manager of Able Uprising. Only been a coach for a little bit, so we're working hard and we're getting better every day.
My name Damir. I'm Hexus, and I'm just a player. Our whole team, we don't have no captain for our team. We all captains, so.
I like that. I like that. Everyone's a captain on the team. Everybody has a certain percentage to say on the team. Now that there's 5 players, plus you're not including your coach/manager esque, obviously, but everybody has at least 20% to say on the team. Obviously, you have your guy who kind of takes the lead every once in a while, unless you're a team that kind of revolves around the 5 of you. And like I said, you got esque, so you also have an extra mind there to kind of keep you guys in tune, kind of give you guys your strategy and so forth. I think coaches are one of the best things in this game right now, it looks like. But gentlemen, going into this season 2, Mexico City, what are your guys' expectations of the event? And also, did you go to Mexico City for season 1?
I got this.
You want to go first then?
Yeah. We didn't go to season 1. We weren't a team. We just like this team just formed for season 2. Everybody was on different teams, but going into the event, we're gonna surprise a lot of people. We come with a different swag for sure, for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. Again, I wasn't there either at the first event. So I don't know what is going to expect, like venue wise and like the crowd and stuff like that. I've heard nothing but crazy things about it. But it'd be nice to experience it for myself. We have a great team. I think we can do a lot this season. So it'd be nice to see us down there and do good.
Of course. Yeah, I mean, you guys got to be positive. You didn't go to the first time. I didn't go either, so that's why I like to ask that question. Obviously, I heard it was an awesome event, but I'm going to ask you, being the coach / manager, what are some of the things that you do for your team that the players can't do for themselves, obviously, while they're playing?
All right. Well, of course, while you're playing, you get tunnel vision a lot, so it's hard to see a lot of your mistakes, see a lot of things that you're not doing right. So it's always good to reinforce the positives, make sure we're doing calling out numbers, we're playing together, we're shooting for each other. So that's like in game. That's like the biggest thing is making sure we're doing what we practice. The smoke placements, we're doing rotations, all that little things. And then even outside the game, like after each round, make sure that we stay positive, make sure we're not if there's any like little bickering, we shoot that down real quick. Just little things like that. Make sure we have a positive mindset all the time. That's the biggest thing. People don't realize how fast negativity spreads within a team. So, you have to just shoot that down, make sure we're on the same mindset every game we play.
Absolutely. I agree with that. Like you said, yeah, it's so quick to, the negativity grows. You lose a round, you lose a map, guys start getting crazy, guys start blaming each other. So, yeah, I think you hit a good idea there, that the fact that you're there and you're an outside voice from the players that are actually inside of the game, you're able to kind of slow them down and kind of say, you did this, you did that, and kind of get them to get back on track, especially during scrims. You know what I mean? I feel like that's a new thing now these days with certain teams, that they just blow everything out of proportion. Like, you're just practicing. It's okay. It's not a problem. Now, Hexies, in regards to that question, when you're in the zone, do you hear your coach / manager, do you hear him while you're playing? Is that something that you even think about while you're going?
Nah, like when I'm in the zone, yeah, you can hear him. You can hear S because he got like a little annoying voice to him. So he gonna make sure you hear him. But like it's sometimes when he say stuff, we kind of like shed it to the side because we be in the zone, like it be throwing off. But then after the round, we be like, dang, like we should listen to what he just said because it'd be important. But we getting used to it now though.
Yeah, it's still a growing process. You still have to get used to it. Another voice in your ear is not easy. And especially like, when you're playing and you think you did something right, but you're wrong. It's hard to sometimes just like, admit that you're wrong and move forward. But that's a big thing, just admitting you're wrong and moving forward. Because if you just harp on stuff, you're never going to get any better if you're just living in the past and just continue on with little fights and stuff like that. You can't do that.
Agreed. Yeah. Like, I mean, you guys are hitting it spot on tonight, which is crazy. I don't know why this guest list that I have, everyone's on point. It's crazy. But yeah, I agree with that. You kind of just got to let it go and then move forward in it. Now, to hit on Able Uprising, because I know you guys did a good job of contacting me, letting me know that you guys wanted to come on the show. I like to have everybody and anybody on this show. But in regards to Able Uprising, the organization that you guys are representing, tell me a little bit about them, the good stuff that they work with you guys on and so forth.
Yeah. All right. So April's been absolutely awesome to us so far. Every time we scrim, they're always watching us. They're always supporting us really heavy. So to be honest, they're great to us. I can't really say anything bad about them. Yeah, to be honest, they've been great for us. I don't know if you have anything separate, Hex. I mean,
man, I'm not going to even lie. ASO, man, shout out to him. That's my guy. Like, they like brothers to us. They check on us every morning. How you guys doing? When y'all scrimming? How's your day? Any plans? Like, they like brothers, man. It's just like, it's more than an org. It's just more than an org. It's a family. It's really a family.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's important for you guys. You know what I mean? You want to be able to have that comfort with your org owners and your org in general. It's great that they watch you guys. I think that's a big thing that a lot more org owners should be doing. Watching their players, kind of getting a better perspective of what they do each and every day. Just sitting in your chair and not watching your team. You don't really know what goes on and all the effort that goes into the game. Now, Hexies, tell me a little bit about your roster. Who's on the team, their names, and kind of everybody's role.
Man, we got some dogs, man. We got some dogs. Well, one of my favorite players is my man Vocab, man. He different. He a different breed. He's not too flashy. He's not a slayer. He's like he more of a support role. He's a support role, but he could clutch up in his moments. He really can. Then we got our player. His name Tilligent. You probably know who that is. Tilligent is a very flashy player. Like he's our flashy player. He's the Mr. Sniper, Botox. When we need a weapon, that's who we go to right there. That's that guy. Then we got our safest player is Wabafet. He might be, to me, one of the smartest player in the game. Like he's so smart. He really smart. He outplays everybody. Home hills, nobody could beat him. Best anchor in the game, hands down. I don't care what anybody say. Anybody can at me. Best anchor in the game. Other than that, our fifth, we separated with our fifth, but right now we're playing with Suppliance, and he's a good addition right now. He bring a lot to the team, bring an extra leadership role, and he's coming along well. A little bit more Kim, we gonna be solid. And the Escamani, he right here. That's my dog right there. That's my dog.
Escamani, of course, he's here. You know, he's the headquarters of your guys' team. You know what I mean? You guys got to go to him for each and everything possible. Now, Escamani, in regards to the roster, who do you think you would replace if they needed you? Or if somebody couldn't make an event, do you feel like you could fit the shoes to step it up?
Ooh.
That's a loaded question. That's a loaded question.
Listen, just because you're a coach, that doesn't mean. No, I'm just kidding.
Absolutely not. I agree. Just because you're a coach doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, I mean, I can shoot. My problem is I get too nervous in games, so I don't really. I try to. That's the reason I'm not a player myself. So I just kind of found my spot, and I'm here now.
No, of course, and I respect that.
But I mean, I'm a private match warrior, to be honest. So whenever we're in a private matches, I'm always talking smack to our team and stuff. But
no, of course, you gotta have some fun. You gotta have some entertainment. Now, one question I have for you, Esk, and it's only because you're the coach / manager of Able Uprising, obviously Gears of War. Have you downloaded the Trickstrat app?
Of course, I downloaded the Trickstrat app. That was as soon as I saw the tweet, I was like, "This is awesome!" Instant. Boom.
Awesome.
5 minutes of it being tweeted.
I know Immortal Spawn watches these rebroadcasts, but I think he's in the stream, so I'm sure he'll be happy to hear that. But yeah, Trickstrat, that's actually a big thing going around right now for Gears of War, and I'm glad that you have it. You pull that thing up, dude, online. You pull it up at an event. I'm telling you, it's one of the best applications you could use currently for Gears of War. So I do recommend that to all the coaches and players even that I speak to. Now, gentlemen, one question I had to ask for both of you. Going into Mexico City, where do you guys see yourselves placing? Now, be honest, be cocky, be confident, whatever you want, I'll take it. I want you guys to be on this show to be very positive about yourself. Nothing negative ever.
Yeah.
So, of course, that's my team. I don't think, from watching us practice, watching the dedication that our teammates have, how hard we go every night, everybody's, putting in 110%. Anything less than top 8, just not. I don't see anything less than top 8, honestly, with the amount of times that we've, gone to school and work on an hour of sleep because we've played for 4 hours straight, or 4 hours longer than we should have, and everything. These guys really do put their blood, sweat, and tears in this. So anything less than top 8, really, it's not going to sit well with any of us, honestly. Or top 8, easily.
And Hexies, did you have anything to say about that?
To be honest, he hit it right on. There's nothing we could say. We beat ourselves. That's the only thing that really beat us. We played against a lot of top teams. We never get swept. We get them static. They know how we come in. Everybody know how we come. We come with a different swag. Like I said, only thing that beat us is ourselves. That's the only thing that beat us. You gonna see? Everybody gonna see real soon.
More practice. We'll tighten up and we'll be better.
Yeah, that's all it is. Practice makes perfect, man. I don't know how many times I could say that. And, it looks like you guys have your heads on straight. Obviously, like you said, top 8 is the goal. I hope to see you guys there. I'm always rooting for the underdogs. I've probably been an underdog since I've been playing Gears of War. I know many people can admit to that. I mean, Raw Talent, my team name in general, was the underdog probably of Gears of War 2. So I'm always rooting for you guys. I wish you guys the best to a team Uprising, as well as you two gentlemen here tonight. I appreciate you guys coming on here. Any last remarks or questions, concerns, or anything you guys wanted to give a shout out to right now?
Go ahead, ask.
Oh no. You want to go first? Or? All right, whatever. So real quick, I gotta give shout out to my team, Cabs, Tail, Supplements, Wob, and Hex. We've been putting in a lot of work. We've been doing really good. Putting in those extra hours. Because we got work to put in. You know what I mean? But I also have to give a quick shout out to my man Wayne Marks. Without him, bro, I wouldn't be coaching at all. He's the first one to give me a shot at all, and then that's how I met Hex through him. So to be honest, without him, none of this would be possible, really. So that's my man Wayne. Shout out to him. So,
Man, before I get off, man, I just want to say shout out to the gang, man. Able gang, Able family. And shout out to all the amateur teams, including us, grinding, because it's really hard to come up, man. Pro teams really don't give you a lot of shots, and it's hard to grind. It's hard to grind. Keep grinding, yo.
Agreed. It's hard. It's hard out here for the amateur players, but you got to start somewhere. Again, thank you two gentlemen for coming on the show. I appreciate you. If you guys ever need anything, you guys let me know. Again, thank you for coming on, and you gentlemen have a good night.
Thank you. Good night.
Take care, guys. All right, guys. Well, that went smooth. This is actually going really well tonight. I'm actually pretty excited. Everybody's coming on here. Everyone's speaking their minds. Everyone's has their video going. We're doing really well tonight. We're going to be moving forward, guys, to trying to stay on schedule. Just with that Skype mess up earlier, we're going to keep moving forward. In regards to our next guest, we are going to be having Gears AA show. Gears Amateur Aggression Show, which is an amateur showcase that's going to be starting up. I did these guys a favor, and I told them that I put them on tonight's episode last minute. So they're going to be coming on here speaking real quickly about the Twitter that they started up, or the idea that they have going, just to kind of give you guys a little bit more of a background in regards to that. But just so we could keep going, I'm going to start getting them in here. Again, this is at Gears AA Show. It's the top topic on the left. So after this, we're going to be having Panda on board with us. So Panda, aloha. I'll be seeing you soon. Are you guys there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, somebody's echoing. Somebody's got to mute the mic.
Yeah, hold up.
I mean, mute my stream. I can hear myself.
Yeah, I got it.
Thanks, bud. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I'm about to. All right, can you see me?
There we go. I think one of you came up now. Yep, there it is. All right, cool. So we got one of you on here. It's only going to be one of you on video, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right, so gentlemen, glad to have you on here. I appreciate you guys coming on to speak about your new at Gears AA show. Introduce yourself. We're going to go to the man on the video for you guys first, so that's a little bit easier. Introduce yourself, your name, and your purpose here on the show tonight.
My name is Dakota. My gamer tag is Nachuko, last name Muldrow. I am one of the founders of Gears Amateur Aggression Show, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
Awesome. All right, and the other gentleman in here.
My name is Caleb. My gamer tag is Skirted. I'm also one of the founders of Gears AA Show.
Awesome. Good to have you, Caleb and Dakota. So, gentlemen, tell me, and anybody could take this, whose idea was it to start this Gears AA show? And before we get into it, I think it was a great idea. Obviously, it's a little bit more of a what do you call, purpose for the amateur players. I think it's a great idea. We focus a lot on the pro players in regards to Gears of War. It's always been like that, unfortunately. So one of you could take it. Whose idea was it, or how did this idea come up for Gears AA?
Do you want me to take it?
Yeah, go ahead
Caleb?
and take it.
All right. The idea was actually mine. Because recently I was on vacation, so I was thinking I was just thinking about Gears of War, and I was just like, how can I help the community? And then this popped up to my head, and then I was thinking am I gonna be the first one to actually go through with it? And then at first, me and my teammate Gorilla, he's because our team's actually in it as well, but me and my teammate Gorilla, we got into an argument because pretty much the way I was setting it up and stuff. So pretty much we all came into terms, and that's when we came up with Gears Amateur Aggression.
That's awesome. No, of course. Now, Skirted, how did you come to help with Dakota and put your guys' mind together?
I'm actually their coach, and he just hit me up and was like, "You got any ideas? You know how to set this up?" So we talked about it. I made the Twitter for him. I set all that up. Reached out to people in the community, and we just got the ball rolling.
Yeah, that's awesome. And a lot of people won't understand that. You have to put a lot of work into this, and obviously, the more guys you have on the team working, the better. Now, do you guys have an event that's coming up? I know we had, I think Victor M. Powers was on here speaking about it. Do you guys have an event or a showcase that's starting sometime this week or next week?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, this
We have a.
oh,
Go ahead,
my
Zach.
bad, you
You
go.
got it.
Okay. This Friday, we are hosting a showcase, which is just pretty much like hyping up, like it's like a preseason. Like we're hyping up the actual league next week, and we're gonna have 8 teams. At first, it was gonna be 6, but we wanted 8, so it's gonna be 8 teams. We're pretty much it's like a test, like to see how everything runs and stuff like that. And then the actual league, if I am not mistaken, will start this Tuesday.
Okay, well that's not bad. I mean, you guys are starting somewhere. So you're gonna have 6 to 8 amateur teams, is what you're saying that's gonna start up?
Yes. Overall, we have 24 teams, but it's just like that showcase is just to hype it up, make sure like the views are there, the support's there, and stuff like that.
Awesome. Yeah, no, I think starting off little by little is something great and important, especially when you're starting off a new show. So the fact that you guys are already starting with at least 6 to 8 teams, I think is great. A lot of these amateur players just want to be on screen. You know what I mean? They want their names to be heard. They want their team names to be out there. I don't think that a lot of the bigger orgs or even the companies don't understand that, and it helps. You know what I mean? Having somebody here to be able to represent them is big, and having you two guys here, obviously, to start the AA show, I think it's awesome, and I think it's a great idea. Now, going forward, what is your guys' general, I guess, idea or your conclusion to the show that you guys are looking for?
Do you want to answer this question, or?
No, you can go ahead.
All right. When I was actually decided if I wanted to go through with this idea, I was thinking of the community, and I was thinking about all the teams and all the players that I've been on, or played with and been on, and how they made me become a better player, including my coach. And the purpose of this league is to bring the community together, because there's always those so-called players that support the scene, but they're not really actually supporting it, and
They're not involved.
yeah, and what else? And I forgot what I was about to say.
It's all right. It happens. It's no biggie. It's no big deal. Now, when you guys are going to be having your tournament on Friday or Tuesday, when you're starting up your league on Tuesday, are you guys going to be looking to do more like what can I say, like a game battles thing, like kind of have like a league that you guys are going to start up yourself, an amateur league, kind of like something online and kind of do like performance based?
Yeah, it's gonna be. It's think of it as the World Cup. There's 4 national teams in each group, and if you win a series, you get 2 points. If you win a map, you get 1 point. So, and there's 6 teams in 4 groups, and the top 4 of each group advances to playoffs. And then from playoffs, the top 2 from each group, and then from there, that's when the semifinals, quarterfinals, finals, and then so on.
Okay, yeah. So I mean, you have it pretty much planned out. That's kind of what I was looking for in regards to having some structure, especially for an online league event like your guys' type. But again, I do have a couple of other guests coming on. I appreciate you guys coming on. Was there anything that you guys had to say last minute before I let you gentlemen go?
There was an announcement that we're gonna make about the prize pool. If there's any teams that are playing in the league, the prize pool is now 1,500 instead of 800. Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty good. That's not bad at all. That's something to work with. That's pretty good.
Yeah. So yeah, we're just giving the players a reason to I guess you could say actually play their matches and have fun instead of just it's just 800 lousy dollars, or because at first it was 300 and then in 24 hours it was raised to 8, and then in 48 hours now it's 1,500.
That's awesome. Hey, I mean, you guys got to start somewhere. Like I said, you guys are hitting everything pretty spot on. But gentlemen, like I said, trying to stick on schedule. Thank you guys for coming on here. We'll eventually have you guys on the show again once you guys get started up and so forth. You guys have my support. If you ever need anything, you let me know. And like I said, once you guys get started up, hey, maybe I'll even cast, commentate, whatever it is you guys need. We'll work something out. But again, thank you, gentlemen, for coming on here, and have a good night.
For sure, you too.
All right.
Take care, guys. All right, well, going on to the next guest of the night, we are going to have Alexandra Alohan is what I call her, all right? I don't care what she has to say about it, but she's going to be coming on here. She's going to be speaking about women in gaming, and I put her ad on there, just a little bit of advertisement for her. So if you're ready, make sure you're there. I'm going to be calling you in a couple of seconds. But before we do, I want to thank the At Gears AA show guys coming on here speaking about their amateur showcase that they're going to be starting up. Now, you guys may not think it's a big deal, or, I don't want to put anybody's thoughts in their heads, but we do need to show a little bit more for the amateur players. Like I said, Gears of War for years now has been focused on the pro players, and yeah, that's great. You know what I mean? You want to make them feel good about themselves and boost their self-esteem, because some of them don't have a great self-esteem. So Gears of War is their way to elevate themselves up there. For somebody like me personally, I'm pretty confident. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, everybody tells me that. My fiance tells me that all the time, that I'm super confident / cocky on the border. But this show I think would be a great idea for that. You get some newer orgs in there, just to be able to speak about their teams and their organizations and how they came into Gears of War. So I think they have something good going on. They had a lot to say. But without further ado, let's bring in Alexandra in here. Alexandra Alohan, to be correct. Alohan. Woo! Know what I mean? Of course, she's not picking up.
Oh.
What up, playa?
Hey.
What's happening?
Nothing. I've been sitting here watching the stream, waiting for to be called here.
I know. I appreciate that. You were in here. You were active. You were asking questions, talking to people. Yeah, it looks like you had a pretty big crowd in the chat. I mean,
yeah. I tried, hype it up, hype you up, hype everyone that was in there. I saw Empowers and Abel, and I was watching it all.
Yeah, I saw that. I appreciate that.
A lot going on. Oh, no problem.
I know you were supposed to be on here last week. For everybody that's in here, Alex was supposed to be on here last week's episode. Unfortunately, personal things happen, but she promised to be on here this week. I'm just happy to have her here to be able to talk to you guys, to get a little bit, again, a different perspective in regards to gaming / Gears of War. We're always having pro players on different shows in regards to MLG and all that, so I like to switch it up. But Alex, I wanted you to come on here, introduce yourself a little bit, even though I know a lot of these people already know you, but your name and a little bit about yourself, and then we'll get started.
All right. Well, to begin with, my last name is not Lohan or Lohan or however you're saying it. It's actually pronounced Lone. You can say it however you want, actually. God Plays refers to me as Lohan too, so it's very common. I'm used to it at this point. But no, my name's Alex. I'm a competitive player. I don't know how else I'm supposed to introduce myself. That's pretty much it. A lot of people already know who I am. Panda. It's pretty known out there.
Yeah, Alexandra Lohan Panda. Boom. Boom.
Lone.
No, it's a
Lone.
Lohan. I'm saying a
All
Lohan.
right. Lohan. We'll go with
It's
it. I'll be
catchy. All right,
Hawaiian.
I like it. Or you're a Hawaiian for today. So,
All right, I'm Hawaiian.
first question for you, Lohan. What got you into Gears of War? Let's start off with that one.
So actually, when Gears of War first came out, it was like 10 years ago, and I was around 11, 10 at the time. And my dad brought it home one day, and he was playing the campaign, and he had no idea anything about it. He was like really confused, didn't understand it, and then me and my brother sat down and started playing Xbox Live, and we started playing the multiplayer. We said, forget the campaign, we're gonna play online, and it's probably more fun. And it stuck more for me than it did for my brother, and I just continued playing it. Like, I would play it at night in my basement. I would sneak away and hide in the summer, stay up all night. I'd lie to my mom and everybody and just hide it even when I wasn't allowed to. And when I got grounded, my mom took it away from me, and I still played it. But I loved it. Ever since Gears 1, I've played every single Gears, and my parents really got me into it. My dad more like.
Oh, that's awesome. And like you said, that's, not necessarily what you always hear. Gears of War, I guess you could say, is a guy's game. So the fact that you stuck with it and, you enjoy playing it, and obviously you're here to this day still competing in it. You're a competitive player. And, so that's something good to think about. Now, how long have you been playing Gears of War, playing gaming in general? Competitive, casual, whatever, whatever it is.
Well, I've been playing video games in general since I could pick up a controller, and it's been like years, but I didn't actually get into like competitively gaming until this past year, back in December, January area. I actually met Ninjitsu. A lot of people know him, Marty.
Yep.
He introduced me to Firearm and Heza and Zenon and all them, and they were like the first people that I ever started playing competitively with, as just pickup stuff like that, just messing around, fun. And then they obviously went to Mexico. I was cool with them, and then when they came back, we just started playing even more. And then I finally was like, you know what, I'm actually gonna start playing. And my first event was Atlantic City. It wasn't the best turnout. It was kind of last minute. I just kind of went with the team, got double eliminated, but you know what? It was fun. Good to see everybody. Good to actually like go and play and feel the experience of a LAN event, and just kind of went from there. And have been just playing more competitively, just more intense, dedicating more time to it than I normally would. But it's been a lot of fun, to be honest with you.
No, of course. I mean, that was a lot. I mean, you broke that down pretty well. So yeah, like you said, you've been playing since you pretty much could put a controller in your hand, which a lot of people can't say, I guess. I mean, I can't even remember when I started. 5, 7 years old. N64, I think, is what I started with, which is so long ago. God, I'm getting old already. It's scary.
Okay.
So, how was your season 1 experience? I know you said that your first event was AC, right? You just said that?
Yeah, that was my first event. I did watch all the other events, and I wanted to go, even in Columbus, when it was like 2 hours from my house, because I'm in Ohio, but I just didn't know anybody at the time, and like there's like no points to even go, to be honest. So
Yeah, no, I mean, I know it's tough. So you went to AC and then you went to Vegas, right? If I'm not mistaken, those were the events you went to?
yes, those were my 2 events. Vegas was my more known event. A lot of people really recognized who I was from that event, mainly because of the interview that happened with Paola, which is nice. Our placing, everything, and it was like all just a shock to a lot of people. We made a couple upsets in the bracket, which is nice. And I know it was some of your good friends, Mark and Mence, but they dropped me, so I had to give them a little payback.
You have to give him
Show
the
'em.
business.
Yeah, hey, you want to drop me? That's fine. You want to pick me back up, make me your coach? That's okay. But you know what? I'm gonna show you what you're missing and send you
Bodied.
home.
Bodied. Now,
Mhm.
speaking about that, Las Vegas, what did you guys end up placing?
We placed top 24.
Okay, which,
And
whatever. I know you said it was like last minute changes and whatnot, so that's not terrible, you know what I mean?
he actually made the team Thursday night at midnight, the night before. Proceed messaged me on Twitter and he's like, "Hey, we need a fifth. I know you're in Vegas. Do you want to play?" I was like, "Heck yeah, I want to play." I asked Mark and Mence. I was like, "Hey, is it cool if I play instead of coach?" They said, "Do whatever you want. You probably won't outplace us. Just have fun." I was like, "Okay, cool." And I played with them and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, trust me. I was like we spoke before. I was playing, and I know you guys were behind us, directly behind us, and I could just hear all of you guys screaming. I'm not going to repeat some of the things I heard, obviously, because it was getting a little heated. But that's Gears of War. For
Yeah.
anybody that's watching and doesn't know Gears of War, Alohan can tell you that she talks a lot of trash. But you know what? It's entertaining. It's funny. You know what I mean? If you were there in person, you would understand. But I know your match against Mark and Mence, and I knew we were going to talk about it. What did that win mean to you in regards to Gears of War and the competitive side of you?
Well, that win, honestly, like it wasn't the biggest event, like part of the night, but I think like that day it meant so much to me as a player and even as a female in the community to get dropped from a team, like a decent team. Mark and Mence, they've Mence, I'm pretty sure, has placed pro in UE, and Mark has placed top 16, top 12. Like he's had some really good placings too, and to actually get dropped from them and beat them and proceed farther than them actually like meant a lot to me and showed that, hey, just because I'm a girl doesn't mean anything. Like I can get picked up with a random team of people, and we'll play better than you, just because of how we work together. I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, you guys formed that team on Thursday, and you came out pretty strong. You guys did really well. Now, going into season 2, Mexico City, I know we touched on it a little bit. What are your intentions for that event currently?
So for Mexico, I was originally supposed to be going with a couple people. I had a team in mind with Chromatic. It was actually going to be me, him, Mark, Mence, and Vinny. And we had it all figured out with an organization. Some stuff kind of happened and ended up our plans fell through, and our team we ended up losing Mence and Mark. Vinny couldn't go without some funding, so me and Chromatic were just kind of making our own thing, and he ended up leaving to go play with Starbrights. So right now, Mexico for me is looking pretty slow. I want to go. I've already looked into plane tickets. My parents know, they already are 100% with it, but I have no team to go with, and now all the team passes are kind of sold out, so it's a matter of getting picked up at this point.
Yeah, which obviously you know how Gears of War goes. Again, this is something that's been happening for years now. There's always going to be last minute teams that need somebody to come out and play, obviously, because somebody backs out of the tournament or just can't make it. So I'm sure you'll eventually get on team, or maybe you get on a team with 2 people and make your own team, whatever it is. Regardless, I obviously hope to see you at events. I hope to see you do well. But I think that was it for tonight. Was there anything else that you wanted to touch on in regards to yourself, Gears of War, females in gaming?
Females in gaming, honestly, that whole topic in general, I feel like a lot of us girls shouldn't be looked at as females, because there's a lot of really good girl players out there that get looked down upon because of the fact that they're a female. And Jeter, for instance, she's a really good player. She played with all those guys for Fire and Ice at Vegas, and I'm pretty sure she plays top 20, almost top 16. just because you're a female, I don't think you should be looked down upon or treated differently, because at the end of the day, it's a video game. Everybody's picking up some sticks and shooting a gun. It doesn't matter on if you have big muscles, if you're tall, if you're a guy or a girl. It's honestly just playing the game and having a brain, to be honest. Like,
Yeah,
females
I
shouldn't, it
agree.
shouldn't even matter. Gender shouldn't even matter. And that whole topic, I just think it's overrated.
Yeah, like you said, I mean, I think Jeter's really good. I think you're really good. One girl gamer that I know is really good, or gamer, whatever it is. Like you said, you shouldn't have to say, female, girl, lady, woman, doesn't matter. Is also Letnik. She's also a really good player, and she's been playing for a long time now.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, Letnik was the only female to place really well with back in, I don't know what it was, but didn't she place top 4 back in the day? No? Am I wrong?
Maybe at a local, if I'm not mistaken, because she did go to a lot of locals that I did for Gears of War 2 with her team. So maybe that.
Yeah,
I don't know.
The Funky Bunch. I know her and the Funky Bunch did something,
Yep.
but she's had some pretty good placings. And same with Divine and Kiss and Violet. Like, a lot of girls out there that they honestly should be given a better chance, just because they're great players and outstanding, to be honest with you.
No, which is true. I agree with that. I mean, they're very skilled players. I mean, regardless of their gender, if they're good, they're good. You can make it work.
Trust me, I've been preaching it, trying to get the community to see that. But yeah, I don't have anything else to say. The only thing I have left to say is some shout outs to my friends out there. Shout out to Vexies, all the girls out there watching for me. My friend Kate, Hustlerette, all of them, Casey, Marty, everyone that got me in the game. I just love them all. Shout out to all of them. Sorry if I didn't mention your name.
Right? Shout out to everybody that she didn't mention. All right, we got it covered.
Yes.
We're good now. All right, boom. Woo!
Shout out to everybody in the stream that is tuning in, giving us some support here.
Yeah, no, that's a big one. Yeah, big shout out to everybody in here. To everybody that she didn't mention, shout out to you guys. But yeah, so I was happy to have you on here, Alohan. I look forward to seeing you season 2. Regardless if you go to Mexico City or not, I'm sure there's going to be plenty of events to attend. But again, thank you for coming on the show, and we'll talk soon.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me. And once again, it's loan. It's all loan.
Loan. All right, it's all alone. All alone. Gotcha.
Yes,
Gotcha.
I'm all alone. All alone in my room. All alone in life.
Alrighty.
All right.
Take care, girl.
See you around. Bye.
Later. All right, guys. Well, that was Alexandra Lone. I'll say it for real the first this time around, and soon to be once. Alexandra Lone, gamer. All right, we're gonna change it to gamer, not woman in gaming, but a gamer playing in the Gears of War community. I want to thank her for coming on here. Again, different perspective for you guys to kind of get an idea. What brings the Gears of War community together, or make it different from other communities. We have a lot of different characters, a lot of different things to bring to the table, in regards to entertainment and so forth. But going forward, guys, now this is going to be a good one, because the next guest I have coming on here is Cody at Gorable. Now, Cody is, I can't even say what he is. He's amazing when it comes to esports. He did co-own Fable, and he also co-owns another organization now. Now, this guy doesn't just co-own one org, he co-owns 2 orgs now. And I wanted to bring him on here tonight to explain to you guys what org he co-owns currently and what they have in mind for the Gears of War 4 Season 2. They do have big thoughts going into it in regards to a team. They might be picking up a team, and they do have a couple of teams in mind. But we'll see what Cody decides to say or not say. I'll leave that up to him. He also is going to be talking about the Gears of War Pro League. Now, this has nothing to do with the Coalition. We have no affiliation with them, or he has no affiliation with them in regards to his idea. This was an idea that he's brought up on Twitter. He had me, a whole bunch of people retweeted about it and so forth. And I wanted to bring him on here to kind of give you guys a better idea of what exactly he wants to talk about in regards to a Gears of War Pro League. Now, any league in general is beneficial to the Gears of War community, or any community. It's something to play for bragging rights, for money, for pro points. So I thought if it was reasonable to bring him on here and give him a call, kind of give you guys an idea of what exactly he's going to be talking about. But let me see if I could get Cody on here. And yeah, that should be it. I do have a whole bunch of people here on Skype, so let me see if I can find him on here. Cody, if you're in the stream, shoot me a phone call or so forth, so we can get this show going. You know what I mean? I think you have a lot to say. Cody was a guest on here before, guys, while I'm working on it, before he comes on here. Cody was a guest on here before. And yeah, Gabby148, guys, that's my fiance. Have a good night, Gabby. Sorry I couldn't answer your text messages. You know how I get into the zone, so it's a little bit hard for me to answer my text messages. But have a good night, and I will see you mañana. There is Cody. He just added me, guys. Be calling Cody shortly here. Yes, Bot Empire was on here as a co-host. Hey, there's Cody.
Hey, how you guys doing?
What's up, buddy?
All right, let me know if my mic's terrible too and it echoes, okay? I got a new laptop, not sure how it works yet.
I think you're good. I think you're good right now, so far. Guys, if you have any issues with Cody's audio, let us know before we get into it. But Cody, I want to thank you again for coming on the show. I know you were a guest on here before, along with Bot Empire and Hype Gaming, a while back as it goes. Tell everybody in the stream a little bit about yourself and your current plans that you're working on.
Well, my name's Cody. I mean, I've played Gears competitively, so I'm pretty, aware of what's going on in the game right now, in the past and the now as an org owner on the other side of things. I currently am now recently co-owning an org with a couple great guys, Jared and Lorenzo. It's called Cyclone. I mean, it's an org that's been in a lot of big games, League of Legends, Overwatch, Smite, Paladins, Vainglory, Hearthstone. It's just now we're looking at branching into Gears, and we've got a couple really good teams that we're looking at right now, and we're excited to hopefully make something happen in the Gears community with Cyclone, and definitely be as involved as we can in creating content as well for the game.
Yeah, no, of course. I know you do a great job, like I said, with the esports world in general. You brought up Fable. You're amazing in the fighting community. I know that you guys definitely have a couple of championships under your belt. You've always been involved with Gears of War, as well as, like you said, Smite and other games. I know now you do co-own Cyclone Gaming, or Cyclone GG, which was a newer project that you said you were working on. Now, in regards to Gears of War, you said that you plan on picking up a team. Have you picked up a team? Any teams or ideas that you could give, the viewers on here?
I'm not going to give any hints to who or what. I mean, there's a couple teams we've really looked at right now that definitely, they've definitely both placed consistently in the top 8 on the circuit last year. We're just kind of negotiating with them right now and trying to work everything out with one team right now, specifically, and then there's a couple other teams as well that are on the outskirts of top 8 that we're considering as well. It's just a matter of when we actually find something that's beneficial to both of us, and we really want to get a team that doesn't just play competitively and go to the events. We really want a team that produces some content themselves, because we think that's really important for Gears, and that's really important for us going forward as an org, as we definitely want to create more content. Like I said, I can tell you we're talking to some teams that are in the top 8 consistently last year in placing, so we're pretty excited about hopefully being able to put together a deal with one of those in the next couple days here or so. And once I have more information, I'll be sure to divulge it to you. So.
Of course, so we'll just have you on here and talk about it. That's probably easier.
Yeah, I'm not gonna leak too much on it, because nothing's set in stone, and we're not even really to the point with one of the teams yet where it's like, all right, we're making something happen. We're at that point where if the stars align and everything, we're just going back and forth with a couple teams. We're definitely gonna pull the trigger here soon, but it's got to be the right fit. I mean, there's also a chance we don't end up in Gears of War this season. It's got to be the right fit for us as an org. And that's kind of what the attitude we're having towards it. We're in a good position. There's still a good amount of handful of teams out there, like 4 or 5 teams we're looking at, and some good unsigned teams, and we think we have a good shot at getting a couple of these a couple of these teams if we want them. There's a couple other great teams out there that we looked at, but unfortunately, some of the players had definitely a little bit of a sketchy history, so we're going to stay away from them. Which I have a lot of, which it's unfortunate, but there's a couple of teams out there that got great talent, but there's just too many things in the past that we as a staff are a little bit too scared of. So we're gonna probably stay away from those teams. If you want a little information on teams we're not really looking at right now that are in that top 12 category.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure I have a good idea of who's who and whatnot. But we'll stay out of that. We always try to keep it positive on here, obviously.
Yep.
I know, like you said, you guys are talking to a couple of teams. We won't give any of that information out. But one question I did want to ask you, which is pretty straightforward. You don't have to divulge any information. Are we going to be seeing Cyclone GG at Mexico City? Is that something that will happen maybe down the road?
We don't know yet. I mean, we're hoping so. That's for sure. It all depends on if we get, can come to an agreement with one of the teams. I mean, we're in a good position right now. We have a really solid backing as an org financially. So, I mean, we definitely can make anything happen that we want. It's just a matter of it's got to be beneficial to us. This is a business, which I think sometimes it gets a little overshadowed. This is a legitimate company. This isn't, necessarily just a hobby for us, even though we love it. This is a legitimate, entity that is at the end of the day trying to make money and grow a brand. So we got to make sure we find the right fit for the money that it's going to take, that the commitment from us. We got to make sure we get a good return on it or a good brand growth out of it. So we just got to make sure we find the right fit for that. In a team, which we really do feel that there's 2 or 3 teams out there right now we've been talking to that really fit that mold. So if we do come to an agreement with them, or we'll do everything to create content for Gears going forward, as well as not just being seen as a competitive team.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, that's why I love having you on the show. You're filled with information and knowledge. So yeah, I agree with you. I mean, it is a business right now. I know we've talked about this before when we had Jake on here from Bot Empire. We had Harrison here from Hike Gaming, and we brought that up, in regards to organizations and it being a business, and you have to make some money, or there's got to be some marketing and promotion involved for you guys for it to be beneficial. You know what I mean? Everybody, you can't just be paying out checks and giving people money and not expecting anything back. Obviously, that's not business. That's just you giving out free money, basically, at that point. But in regards to why I brought you on here tonight, I know you had put out a big tweet earlier this week in regards to a Gears of War Pro League. I happened to read it. You guys could go check my feed, and I'll also put it up later today. Cody went ahead and put in some thoughts and some experience and knowledge behind kind of a tweet in regards to a Gears of War Pro League. It was a great idea that he had, and I wanted him to come on here tonight to kind of break it down for everybody and for everybody that will watch us later on as well. So, Cody, if you want to take the floor for that.
Yeah, so I mean, the whole idea of the Pro League for me, with coming up with it and why I think it's a positive thing, is I think number one, obviously content creation, which is huge. I mean, this game, it's and to the fault of not just the players, but some of it has to do with the developer and everything. But we don't really have that huge presence of creating content on the esports side that other big games have. Look at Call of Duty, Halo, I mean Rocket League. I mean, you look at those esports Twitters, their feeds. I mean, they got content all the time. I mean, they're using these pro leagues to create the content. I mean, you can't just pull content out of nowhere. I mean, you have to have something that's creating the content. I mean, you can off of a pro league, you can obviously the matches themselves, make stories off the matches, rivalries, and do interviews and all that kind of stuff. Top plays of the game. I mean, there's so many things you can do to create content for the game, and I think it actually helps give the I know it's a pro league, so there's not going to be any amateur teams or semi-pro teams in the league, right? But I think it actually can help shine a little more light on the amateur teams and the smaller teams, specifically in the 2K tournaments. I mean, those things are brutally long. I think if you take the top 8 teams or top 6, top 8 teams, whatever you want to say, out of those tournaments, and you're actually having differentiation at the top in those tournaments, you're not going to have the same 2 teams most likely in those finals anymore. It's going to be who knows who it's going to be. I mean, it's not going to be like last season. It was always Optic and MB, right? Most of the time.
Yeah, most of the time.
It's not the same two teams duking it out constantly. You know, it gives a little bit more motivation to these amateur teams to try a little bit harder in the 2Ks as well. Get a little bit more shot at the glory and everything. And I think that a lot of the pro players, I mean, there's some people that commented on it saying that they didn't think that they think pro players love the 2Ks. I mean, from the other guys I've talked to, they're indifferent or they're not the biggest fans of them. I think it's kind of a reward, in my opinion, for the 2Ks to where, you know, you don't have to play all day. I mean, you have a pro league match during the week and that's your match. And then, you know, the weekends either to yourself or scrimming or whatever it is. But I mean, that's a huge commitment all day for not the biggest prize pool at the end of the day. And I mean, it's great practice. I get that. But I still think, you know, they're going to keep scrimming and everything. I just think that, you know, it's getting to the point where we have to do something different to help with the circuit. Now, the circuit's great. And I love the circuit, and it's amazing what they've been able to do compared to what they were. But, you know, a pro league can help offset a little bit of the content creation in between events. So, I mean, out of sight, out of mind is what I always say in marketing when it's my day job where I work, when I'm talking to our marketing team. It's out of sight, out of mind. So if we don't mention it and we don't do anything about it, people are going to forget about it. So when you have these, you know, month and a half, 2 months in between events at times, there's not much going on in terms of the competitive side. You got to find ways to create content and create content with the competitive players. And, you know, the easiest way that Call of Duty and Halo and games like that have done that is they've created, you know, the championship series or the pro league, whatever they call it. And that features those players. And not only does it feature the players, it in itself creates content, which makes the game seem more active and it's more attractive to sponsors. I mean, I'm pretty confident, and some people say it, but I mean, I really think that you could offer up that prize pool for the pro league. It could be like 5K to 10K. It doesn't have to be that much because they're playing one match a week here and there. But I think you could get some companies that would fork up the dough to be the title sponsor for that league. Now, I don't know if there's partnerships with MLG or Gfinity or whoever it is that, you know, they're not allowed to do that. But with creating other leagues and everything. But I'm trying to. My thing is this isn't the ESL Pro League from UE that I'm talking about. This is something different. This is creating something in itself, like based around content and based around, you know, this isn't the focus of the game. Like it's a pro league, maybe we don't call it the pro league, whatever it is. This is just something that we have to create content. It's a nice reward for the pro players, in my opinion, to get featured a little bit more. It's motivation. Then this way you have all those pro orgs, those big orgs that can say we're part of the pro league. You know, attract some bigger orgs into the game, and then it also helps, you know, the smaller orgs get a little bit of, you know, shine in the 2Ks. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's what I think about it. Now, in my original tweet, I said 6 teams from each region. Now, I realize that's probably not possible because, you know, Europe and, you know, or Latin America don't necessarily have the numbers that NA has. Now, Latin America, I think you could actually pull together a decent sized league.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, I think Latin America would be good.
Be more challenging because there's probably only 4 teams or so in Europe right now that could legitimately come over or, well, go to an event and actually compete really well, from what I've seen and scouted and everything. Doesn't mean that's not saying that there's only 4 teams in Europe. That's in my opinion 4 teams that could legitimately be a threat to some Latin American and NA teams in an event setting. But yeah, I just think it's something we need to create content. And I know, you know, there's challenges and it involves hiring more people, involves hiring people to manage the leagues. I mean, there's a lot of things that can create issues with, and I get that. But I actually think the current set of people they have, maybe, I mean, I think a guy like you, for example, would be a great addition to a concept like this. I mean, maybe hiring 1 or 2 people that their sole focus is casting and managing the pro league and coming up with content for the pro league. I mean, that's what they really need. It would help. I mean, you go look at the Twitters of the HCS or the Call of Duty World League and everything, and just see how active it is. I mean, we'll go days without a time without hearing anything from Gears, and that doesn't look the best for potential sponsors for the game and for events to increase prize pools. I mean, they want to see activity. Trust me, I've done my research. There's a great game, Smite Paladins and play Hand of the Gods is what it's called. There's a studio called High Res. They put out great games. I mean, lot of the guys I've talked to there, they're very insightful. I mean, that's why they do a league format. I mean, they're doing a league format because sponsors and everything, they want that. I mean, they just signed a huge deal with Facebook for the rights to
Wow.
broadcast all their pro leagues. Like, this is what I'm trying to talk about is, I mean, we're getting to a point in esports where TV networks are getting into it. You have platforms like YouTube that are streaming Counter-Strike matches, and they're paying millions of dollars for the rights to do this. I mean, this is legitimate money, and this is legitimate viewers on these games. And we can't just rely on circuit events for 3 days for that. We can't. I mean, I'm saying we as I'm part
No,
of
of course. No, you are.
I'm saying in terms of, you know, we can't. I mean, I just think it's, you know, from my experience in marketing, I'm not trying to toot my own horn or anything, but my job that I do, I'm fantastic at it. And if I would take the same approach I take in my job to what they're doing right now, the first thing I would do is try to create something every single day to make it seem extremely active. That's the key, is activity. And honestly, I'll tell you, there's a big Latin American TV network that I had the pleasure of talking to when I had a Latin American team, which now they are signed with World's Best, which is great. It's a great org, and I'm super happy for them. But I mean, we were talking to some potential sponsors, and we actually almost got an investment from Univision. I believe that's how it's
That's
pronounced.
awesome. Yeah, no, yeah.
Just because of that, and they were interested in creating content for Gears, and it all fell through for some other reasons. But I'm trying to say is there's interest, especially in Latin America, for a league format or creating content. I think, you know, we all know how big Gears is in Latin America, but it's a lot bigger than we even think. I think there's opportunities out there that just, you know, TC's got to look a little bit harder, get a little creative with their proposals, and I think they'd be surprised with how many or how many companies would actually get on board with it. I mean, you're seeing big companies sponsoring orgs now. I mean, you had 100 and some applicants for the League of Legends franchising league at $13 million pop for that league. 13 million, that over 100 applicants approved with the money to get into those leagues. I mean, if Gears wants to stay ahead, or if we want to stay ahead with esports Gears and get to that level where Call of Duty and Halo are at, and I understand that those games are kind of struggling a little bit right now because they've been around a while, and Gears has been around a while, but it never was like in your face mainstream, and it has that chance, in my opinion, to be that if they do it the right way. Mm-hmm. So I just think that the Pro League is huge in terms of content creation. I don't think it's one, either you have a circuit or a Pro League. I think you can have them with each other and use the circuit to determine the first event to determine the Pro League, and then each Pro League, it kind of resets, if you will. Those top 8 teams are in the right to play in that league or something, or whatever it is. But I mean, that's essentially my idea. Is like I just really wish we could create more content for the game, and there's some great players in the community right now, specifically Domes, that are doing a great job of creating content. If we had like 50 of him in the game creating content like that and doing the stuff that you're doing and everything, I mean, it's huge. I mean, it's huge when you have content being created, stuff being watched on YouTube that's made by the players. I mean, we're so close. Gears is so close. I just hope that we can really figure everything out here in the next, at least by the end of season 2, because I'm sure there'll be a season 3 hopefully, and they keep it going, whether there's a new game or not, whatever it is. I just hope that they continue to grow viewership, because I mean, quite frankly, they're relying on giving away weapon skins to get viewers to the event, to watch these events, and they need to get a little more creative with their marketing to get things to happen. So I just that in a nutshell is my idea, and that's why I said it. Is I just think we need more content, and it needs to be more active, and it'll keep growing and keep attracting people. All you need is a couple. Honestly, all you need, you can see it with sports teams, you see it with companies. All you need is 1 or 2 personalities to emerge from a scene for the game to become popular. Seriously, that's all you need is 1 or 2 personalities that become extremely popular, and you'll be surprised how much that'll do for the game. So if we start getting 2 guys creating great videos, whatever it is, gameplays and all that stuff, you'll be surprised how many people will start gravitating towards it. And here's another stat for you too, okay?
Of course, keep going.
It's my last stat, and I'll be done. I've talked to some game studios, and I'm not going to mention who they are because I'm not supposed to, because it's all information that they gave me because they know me and they're nice, and I'm nice to them. But when a Pro League match is streamed. It's on Twitch, right? Or wherever, what platform it's at. Facebook, YouTube, wherever it's streamed. There is a huge surge in players hopping on within the next 3 hours on the game to play compared to a normal day. That's the impact that having a pro league and having content is. Because think about it, everybody watching this. How many times do you watch a game or use whatever it may be, you're watching it being streamed and then you have the urge to play it? Even
Absolutely.
if it's 6 months, it happens all the time. And that's the point of that content, is seeing something and like, oh crap, I want to go play that, or I want to, oh, that looks fun, I'm going to go back and play that again. That's what we're missing, is we're relying on those events. And I get we have the fight nights, and I get we have the 2K finals, but it's the same thing over and over and over again. And it was the same 2 teams last season. What I'm trying to do is create a solution where it's not the same 2 teams, and we can spread out, Latin American matches one night in a league, North America in a league, maybe Europe if there's enough teams, and then you can still have your fight night, you can still have your 2K finals and all that on that one day. That's fine, but then you have 3 more days of pure content that you can, use. And that's where I hope they come. I know it's too late this season most likely, but I hope in the future they consider going to some sort of format like that where it rewards the players a little bit for being pros. This is the one game that it's so hard to actually determine who the pro teams are sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
At a given time, because in my opinion, and this is not a popular opinion, if you place outside of the top, I think you legitimately lose your pro status if I'd say 2 events you don't place outside the top 8, you're not a pro in the game anymore. You might have been a former pro, that's fine, but when the game is relevant, I don't think you're necessarily a pro if you're not placing in that top 8. And I think that the pro league does a good job of setting that standard of, all right, this is a legit pro team, versus, I placed top 8 the first event, and now we're sitting 4 events in and I'm placing top 16 every time. So, there's other things about it, and I think they need to do my last point, even though I said that was my last point before.
No, you're good.
It's just they need to brand the players good personalities. Some of the personalities need a little bit of help, a little bit of guidance with their, with branding themselves. But we have some great personalities in the game. It's just we gotta let them emerge, and we gotta create our own stories and do whatever we got to do to help them emerge, for sure. So, we have arguably the biggest popularity-wise org in the game, which is obviously Optic. And I just don't see that content being created by Optic themselves, the players, Optic, the org, or TC. I'd be all over that fan base as much as I could, creating cool stuff just so they could retweet it and share it themselves. So Optic would, with 3 million followers on Twitter alone and all the fans they have. If we start taking advantage of a little bit of the big kahunas in the game as well, we'll see some results.
I agree with that. I know they haven't. I know they kind of keep a close, tight knit on like their promotion and their marketing and whatnot. I've been trying to get anybody from Optic on this show. It never happens. Never respond. I guess that's what happens when you're like, I guess, the New York Yankees of Gears of War currently. So, if you're not showing dollar bills, they don't want to talk to you. But yeah, I agree with you. Everything you hit was pretty spot on. Obviously, this is going to be huge in regards to when I put it back out there and put the link out there. You had a lot to say in regards to the Gears of War Pro League. I think the ideas you have are great. The fact that you said, when you're a top team and you're top 8, you're considered pro. But once you slide out of that top 8 status, you should lose your pro status. And the Gears of War Pro League would do a little bit better of a job in regards to keeping up with that. Like you said, you do have a couple of teams in mind. I'm kind of just recapping in regards to Mexico City in Season 2 for Gears of War. Obviously, I would love to have you there. We have Bot Empire as well, Jake, that I would love to have back. So I know, like you said, it's all business. There's a lot more behind it to everyone that's watching this. It's not just, pick up a team and go. There's a lot more that goes on in the background. But like I said, Cody, you're always a great guest to have on here. I'm going to start to wrap it up. I appreciate you coming on here. Is there anything else that you wanted to say before you say goodbye to us?
Oh, no, I appreciate you guys letting me rant a little bit, and bear with me on some of my ideas. They're just ideas. It's not like I have a concrete plan on anything. I'm just throwing stuff out there, trying to create conversation, because, with any decision, a lot of companies and look at anything in the world. Sometimes people need prodding and conversation to happen for things to actually get moving. So I'm hoping that maybe I can spark some ideas in the heads of decision makers, like, oh, maybe we can take this part of his idea or this part of someone's idea, merge them together, or whatever it may be. But look out for hopefully in the next week or so. Hopefully you see something from Cyclone and on Gears of War. So just keep a lookout for that.
Absolutely. And again, I want to thank you guys. On Twitter is @Gorable, co-owner of Cyclone GG. We hope to see them soon come to the esports Gears world. Cody, once again, thank you and have a good night, my friend.
Have a good night, guys.
Take care. Alrighty. Well, that was Cody, Gorable, Cyclone GG co-owner. He had a lot to say for us. This is going to be a great episode to go and rewatch, especially in regards to the Gears of War Pro League, the idea that he had. He had a lot to say, and what he said is true. You know, these are ideas, and there's nothing set in stone or concrete. But you know what? You got to throw it out there, and eventually somebody will actually catch attention to it and maybe bring it up, at a meeting or something like that in regards to sponsorships or with the coalition. So people like Cody are guys that end up being successful because they actually have, the guts and the ideas to throw out there and the knowledge in regards to esports and the growing industry that it's become. Unfortunately, I had to bring some bad news to you guys. We are not going to be having Jake Notorious Gears of War on the show. Unfortunately, he doesn't seem to be answering. I'm not too sure what's going on. I'm sure eventually he'll come out and contact me in regards to what happened. Maybe we could follow up next week's episode. I already have a couple of guests in mind that actually contacted me after watching this episode, which is awesome. You know what I mean? I like to have my guests pre-planned, and the fact that I already have a whole bunch of people in mind for next week's episode is great. Maybe I'll have... Wait. Breeze Story. Somebody's calling me. Hold on. Hello?
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, how's it going, buddy?
I wasn't receiving any calls. Are you still doing the show?
Of course. We're still on.
All right, good.
You're coming on for Trifecta, correct?
Yes.
Awesome. All right. So, guys, change of plans. We have one of the... you're the manager, correct?
No, I'm not the manager, dude. I'm just the fifth.
You're the fifth. Oh, that's even better. And you're talking for Trifecta GG, the team with Jake Nasty?
Yeah.
You're the fifth player on that team?
Yeah, I'm Jake Nasty. This is Nasty.
There's no way this is Nasty.
Yeah.
This is Jake.
Yeah.
What
do you mean?
The Jake Nasty.
Yeah, dude.
That can't be Jake. There's no way. You gotta DM me right now, Jake. There's no way. There's no way.
This is Jake, dude. You want my social?
No, actually, yeah, it does sound like Jake. Woo! This is even better, guys. We got Jake Nasty in here. I don't know. I had to hear you laugh. Once I heard you laugh, it was good to go because I've heard you laugh before in person. This is great. Restore. All right. So change of plans, guys. We have Jake Nasty in here from Trifecta GG, one of the OG Gears of War Pro players already. He is here. Thank God. I thought he wasn't coming. But Jake, it's good to have you here. Can you introduce yourself to everybody watching?
Yeah, so I'm Jacob Patterson. I'm 23 years old. I have a beautiful girlfriend, 2 kids. Currently working at UPS. I'm just an average guy, pretty much. I like Gears of War. I mean, that's what I am, dude. I'm a ex-professional Gears 3 player, I guess you could say. There wasn't really a league, but I'm an ex-hype pro, UE pro league player. And I was one of those guys that our buddy Gore was just talking about. I was one of those guys that placed top. I got 5th, and then I just placed outside of it. So I don't know if I'm a pro for this game, but I'm close.
No, you're close enough, and I know you're gonna. Well, you did place 5th at Columbus, so I mean, you technically are, being the fact that you already placed top 8 one event this season. So to me, you are. But it's good to have you on here, Jake. I know this was something that you did last minute for me, and I appreciate that. Now,
Yeah,
Jake,
thank you for having me.
I know you've been out of the game for a while. I know you've been very busy. I actually gave you a little shout out earlier to your girlfriend, to your kids, in regards to announcing the episode. I know you've been really busy. What was it that brought you back to Gears of War?
I mean, dude, I can't stop. Like, I don't know. I can't stop, man. Like I'm always gonna have like passion for the game, for the community, for what it stands for. I don't know, man. I can't give it up. As much as I tried to like, go away from it, dude, I'm always gonna want to compete and be a part of it.
Of course, no, and I know you're a competitive player. You have the drive, you have the passion that I've seen in person. I know that's something that I've told many people on these episodes and shows that that's something that we don't see very often. And players like you, I enjoy watching just because you can see how much passion you have in regards to when you're competing and you're yelling at somebody across the table, and it's always good to have an experienced player like you back. Now tell me a little bit about your team. I know you guys just signed out with Trifecta GG. Give us a little bit of background on that. How did that go?
So we were really like looking for orgs hard. We heard from a couple orgs. We heard from Panda or PNDA. We heard from I think Gosu Crew, and we were just kind of looking around. I even talked to you about maybe possible like connections if somebody you knew or you could keep an eye out for us. So we ran into Trifecta. I think it was Yogurt did or messaged them or first started initiating the conversations, and so we pretty much have a home now with Trifecta. They have a team pretty much in a lot of different games. I've heard like Smash, uh, maybe Injustice. I heard a bunch of different games. My team was saying I'm kind of like I said, I'm more of the fifth dude. So I just pretty much just shoot my gun and play Gears. So, but yeah, dude. So I don't really know. Like Trifecta's new. They're just trying to get their feet wet. They said and get started in the Gears community, see how it is. A lot of past orgs, like we discussed before, have had kind of some worries, like getting into Gears, which you can understand. But
Of
personally,
course.
I can vouch and say a lot of people are making effort. I appreciate you making content. I was reading your chat. Somebody stated that almost everybody says that they'll make content or they want to make content, but nobody ever follows through and actually does it. So I mean, I think it's important for people, like you said. I think the Optic, the Echo Fox, those type of players that have that following in the limelight. I think they're the most crucial and important people right now as parts of, you know what I mean? Like they have to give us something to talk about. If there's nothing to talk about, I mean, it's just a game at that point. I don't
Absolutely.
know.
No, yeah, I mean they don't get involved as much, and I've said that like multiple times. Most guests on here will say that as well. And yeah, it's true. If they don't give us any content or there's no storylines, any gimmicks, like I've said this before. I want this to be the old WWF, WWE. We have to have gimmicks. Without gimmicks, there's not much entertainment to it. Yeah, you'll have the tournaments, but you'll have teams playing against each other. But there's got to be a story behind it, a background behind a rivalry. I know they tried that a little bit in regards to E United and Optic Gaming this past season, and yeah, it was great for a little bit, but I feel like it was overdone after a while.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you
I
saw
agree
that.
totally. No, I agree totally. I was happy that they were trying to like make brands out of players and stuff, but like it was almost like they were losing sight and focus on like some of like the more important things. Not to bash anybody, just some of the production and some of the branding was just questionable. I just like you said, it's kind of got to be like a personal thing. Like you have to make the decision that hey, I'm gonna from this time to this time, I'm gonna make content every Wednesday or every Thursday. I'm gonna put a vlog out. Here's my life. Here's my gaming house. Hopefully we see something from Ghost. I've been hearing a lot of excitement about them with the gaming house in California. So hopefully that's exciting. It'd be cool for them to like show like a day in their life, like you know what I mean? Just cool little things like that. Like show it how it is to have a team house. A lot of people, a lot of competitive players dream of having that. So they shouldn't take it for granted.
I agree, and like you said, the Ghost Gaming, I think that's one of the bigger ones. I know you've seen it, and I'm sure you've heard, you've spoken to the players, but they have a whole house to themselves, a huge gaming house, Call of Duty's out there, Gears of War's out there, and yeah, that would be awesome. You know what I mean? Like a weekly episode of them, just hanging out, them practicing,
Yeah.
them going out. You know what I mean? Any team, I think it'd be entertaining, especially if you have characters. I know you're one of the other characters in this community. Myself, just imagine somebody like us out there, making content, fooling around with their teammates, going,
Just having
going on.
fun, being a team, being a real team and just showing what a real team is. So
Absolutely. And I think I think we'll see that. I think like it's a personal idea in regards to the players. It does take a lot of time and effort. I know when it comes to scrimming, like yourself, you're a busy man. You take care of your girlfriend, you take care of your kids, you're working full time, you're gaming full time, you know what I mean? So it's hard to fit it in. But the players that can, or if anybody can, in regards, I think it'll help us only just increase the value of Gears of War and esports gears going forward. In regards to Mexico City, I know you went to Mexico City this past event. Are you excited to go back?
Yeah. Uh, it didn't go how I wanted to the first time. Uh, Mexico itself was awesome. I mean, I had a couple like incidents that were questionable, to be honest. Like, I cut into a piece of chicken and it was just like blood, like
Oh,
straight blood, like just a couple things. So I mean, I'm just gonna. I think I know what to do, how to do it this time. And as far as Gears of War, my last team was good. Like on paper, we should have did really well. We had Shock that's in Optic right now, substituting for Icy. We had Drix who's in he's on Red Reserve now, and we had Osby, Romero, Noxious, and Strangulate and I, and we should have did well, like I said on paper, but we didn't really we weren't really a team. I'd say I didn't think we really meshed well as five. So
yeah, and I mean, looking at all those guys, those are all good players. Veteran, experienced players. In regards to that, I know you guys went out there and you guys did decent. I know it's not to your standard, obviously, but just being the fact that you guys went out there and placed top 8, if I'm not mistaken, right?
yeah. Oh no. I didn't get top 8 that event. I got 9 through 12th, I believe.
Oh wow. I was under the impression. Okay, well, yeah, no, for your standards, I know you're a top 8 guy, top 4 guy, so yeah, I could see how that was an issue. But you know what?
Yeah, it sucked. It sucked, but it was an experience, and it was a lesson learned. You know what not to do. Next time, hopefully.
Of course, yeah, there'll be a next time, like coming up next month. I'm sure you guys,
Yeah, it's crazy.
guys have been prepping for that. Tell me a little bit about that. What have you been getting back
Yeah,
into routine wise?
yeah. I just wanted to get into that. Like, it's night and day. I mean, these guys are putting me through a boot camp. Phenomenon's pretty much leading the charge, and so is Kraz. Kraz is very vocal, and Bobby's doing a good job of making sure I stay on it, stay dedicated, stay on time. So, like I said, I'm just kind of rejuvenating myself as far as like competing in gears, just getting back on track, and I'm just pretty excited to be a part of it. Like I said, these guys are, like I said, I'm the 5th right now. I gotta work my way up to being back on top and being that number 1. I mean, right now, like I said, I'm just trying to do my part, but it's a team thing. So, like I said, if it wasn't for them, I'd be kind of lost right now. They've showed me the way.
Yeah, no, and I mean, you got a good crew to do it. Now you obviously have a good organization to do it. Obviously, that's always good news for you guys. And like you had said, I had spoken to them a couple of times, actually, the owner, co-owners, manager. So I was glad they picked up somebody like you guys. You guys deserve it. You guys have been around. You guys have been playing. I'm sure it was a big push for you to come back, having an org to back you up, especially for tournaments wise. Now,
Yeah.
was there anything that you expect out of the game or expect out of season 2 that we haven't seen yet, or maybe something you want to see happen?
I mean, dude, I'm gonna be honest with you. From a competitive standpoint, I want to see more competition, man. I'm just so tired of seeing Optic and Envy, Optic and Echo. I love the guys. They're all great players. We know that. But as far as all the 3rd place, 4th place, 5th place, 6th place, the other pros, we as a whole need to pick it up.
Agreed. I
You
agree
know,
with that.
I feel like as a community, which Gears of War, I mean, honestly, esports in general, there's a lot of trolling with the online because it is like online and stuff. I feel like we gotta focus on being positive, like way more positive, like way more positive. Like if only I could tell you the circumstances I face in this game at times, but eh, what I'm trying to say is like I don't let it stop me. Like yeah, at times it gets to me, it gets the best of me, but I still like push through and try to compete at the highest level. And I'm saying this, I'm bringing this point up as far as like everybody's complaining like, oh, the new update, like no, the shotgun needs to be shot a little bit harder or a little bit weaker. I don't know, man. I never cared about that when I was winning, when I was on top. I just never thought about that. Like that's just seems so minuscule and so small and minor in the big scheme of things. Like positioning, being a real team, having a bond, having chemistry, that stuff mattered so much more to our success. It was never how the gun shot. Like Gears of War 3, the gun was inconsistently bad, as Kraz and I like to say. But like we just learned to go with it, you know? We learned how to be the best with what we had. So I mean, I feel like that's what you got to do.
Yeah, no, I mean that's a different perspective that you won't hear from a lot of the players now these days, and I agree with you. Yeah, there's a lot more to it: the team chemistry, the positioning. You know, obviously the term or phrase I always hear, and I'm like, oh boy, is the you know, I just show up to an event and shoot my gun. Oh my goodness, I can't deal with that. I can't deal with it.
No, that's it's not the right way. Like I said, when I used to play when I used to do really well and had success and synergy, we knew what we were going into. Me and Yogurt would balance things off of each other. Like he would know what their strategy would be, and I would be able to come up with like counters and stuff that would work well. So I mean, it's everything. Looking at your team, man, I always respected you guys highly as being very like strategical, always coming in with a game plan, and it truly gives you an edge, you know. So
Absolutely, no. That was I have to give that to Immortal Spawn. He was the more strategy guy behind it. Obviously, if you've seen Trick Strat, the app that he just came out with, which is
yeah, I just
basically
seen it
like
with
a
him
game
about a
map.
week ago.
Yeah,
It was awesome.
I had him
couldn't believe how
on
awesome it was.
last week's episode, and yeah, he's going to be actually fixing that and, you know, creating more content in regards to it. But yeah, that was his like original thing. Like he used to plan that out, write it out. Hey, you're gonna go here, Gabe. You're gonna do that. And like you said, yeah, it gave us an advantage. You know what I mean? We knew where we were going in detail. It wasn't just like, hey, you're gonna go there. You know, we would write it out, erase it if we messed up, and so forth. So yeah, there's a lot to it. But that's what differentiates a player like you in the past as a pro player compared to, you know, an amateur or semi-pro or somebody trying to make it. But again, that does take time, and like you guys are doing, you guys are practicing. They're bringing you up to level. But it's always good to have you around, Jake. Again, I want to thank you, and I want to thank Trifecta for having you on here. Obviously, I'll have.
Thank you for having me. I really, really, really appreciate it.
No, of course, and I appreciate you coming on here. If you know, I do this for you guys, and I like it to be a positive thing. You know, like I said, the fact that you're busy, you know, you have a lot of stuff going on at home. Good, you know, good things. It's great to have you back and have you playing. And you know, we appreciate that, and I, you know, as a fan now, somebody to watch like you is, you know, it's pretty entertaining. But again, thank you, Jake, for coming on here. And was there anything else that you had to say before you say goodbye to us?
Not much. Just one little thing, because you actually made me remember. Like I wanted to discuss with you.
Of course.
As far as like the scene has completely changed. You know, from what I used to watch, because I didn't get to travel in 09 and Meadowlands and watch the Pro League. Like I would love to have, but like there's a lot of new faces in there, and like just shout out to all the new people. Like you have to remember what you have to do. Like you have like you have to uphold like a standard. I mean, you got to handle yourself professionally, and I'm pretty much talking to a lot of the younger people, the 16-year-olds, 17-year-olds, the Zerbdings, the Avexis, a lot of you younger guys that have a bigger responsibility, and to just conduct yourselves professionally, handle yourself well, and just good luck to those guys. And I just want them to be able to do a good job at that. I feel like it's important for the growth of Gears. I feel like they're the future.
No, of course. No, that's something that's, yeah. Obviously, the way they conduct themselves and whatnot goes very far, and I'm sure they appreciate that, especially all the new up-and-coming players. But again, Jake, thank you for coming, brother.
Yeah, thank you.
I hope you have a good night.
Yeah, we'll talk soon, man.
If
you have a good night as well.
If you guys need anything, you let me know, all right, man?
Yep, sounds good. Good talking to you.
Take care, Jake. All right, guys. Well, that officially wraps it up for the night. That was Jake, the Notorious Gears of War. If you look over on the left of the screen, Trifecta GG and the Notorious Gears of War, Jake Nasty. He's back. He's better than ever. I look forward to Trifecta doing work at Mexico City coming up in October. Again, thank you to all the guests that came on the show tonight. Without them, I wouldn't have a show, especially you guys that sat here and watched, and especially the people that are going to go back and watch it that weren't here live. I want to thank you guys as well. Without you guys, I would not be anything. I also want to thank everybody that was in the stream. Bot Empire, Jake, doing an awesome job tonight, showing the support and the cause to my show. You know what I mean? So I want to give them a big shout out at Bot Empire. Make sure you guys follow them. Again, another professional esports esports org in the industry, up and coming, that, you know, do great things. And, you know, hopefully we look forward to seeing them once again in Gears of War. I know I'll be working with them in regards to that, hopefully. We also have Hike Gaming. Harrison does a really good job with the Gears of War community. He actually just picked up a Latin American team that I think is the 3rd or 4th seeded team that's going to be coming into Mexico City as well. And I want to thank Gorable Cody for coming on here speaking about Cyclone GG, as well as this Gears of War Pro League. We thank him for coming here. Alexandra for speaking on behalf of women in the esports Gears community, or esports community in general, as well as the 2 gentlemen, Dakota, coming on here to speak about the Gears AA show. And we also had Eskmani and Hexy's coming on here speaking about Able Uprising, another organization that has touched down on the esports Gears world. Thank you all for coming here and watching. Make sure you guys go and subscribe to me on YouTube. You could probably find it on the video that I'm going to be posting later today. Be sure to check it out at NJCUBANO on Twitter. I'll be posting out a tweet with everybody that was on the show, and also the link to the show of tonight. It'll probably go up tomorrow around 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon Eastern time. But again, thank you guys for coming on here. I appreciate it. I will see you guys next week on Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern time. Love you. Have a good night, and thanks for the support.